Good afternoon, everybody. Took me a minute to figure out whether we were live or not. So here I am again. I was so happy to be back 2 weeks ago. It was so nice to see everybody's comments. It was kind of fun to do this again. Unfortunately, last week was my sister's birthday, and quite honestly, I didn't have anything to show you guys. But for some reason, this week, Goodwill kind of stepped it up. So I actually have some purchases from Goodwill. So let's start at the beginning. I found two patterns. Take them out of the plastic. Ugh, this one's kind of stuck. All right. It was these dolls. I've never heard of these. I don't know who Carla Reese is. I am familiar with Wrights. We've seen Wrights patterns before. A lot of craft patterns and patterns for costumes are from the Wrights company. So it was the dolls. And then in the very same package was the outfits, the doll clothes. Now, sorry, I didn't show you the back of that. The dolls, you can make the 3 different styles and all that. Again, also by Carla Reese. These are from 2002. So they're vintage, but they're like that weirdly like modern vintage. But I was shocked that I even found patterns at Goodwill because I haven't found patterns at Goodwill in forever. All right, the next thing I got, this was kind of weird. I actually found this a couple weeks ago, like in a bag of stuff, and just I haven't been doing the video, so you guys never got to see it. Pardon the glare; it's kind of all in there. It's it was a kit, but it was in. I bought a bunch of kits a couple weeks ago, just small ones. And it was in with all these kits, but someone had put it in like a Ziploc bag. So, of course, I thought it's used, right? Somebody used it, right? They started it. In fact, in a minute, I'll show you what else was in there. It's a Golden Bee, which is like an older company. This is from the 1980s, and it's, love me, love my cat. When I actually got a good look at it, the person they'd just taken it out of the original packaging and put it into Ziploc. They never worked on it. And it was missing the needle, but I could see the mark where the needle had left an impression, a little bit of a rust impression. So yeah. Hold on 1 minute. I will show you the other thing that was in there. I've been trying to do a little bit of embroidery, but honestly, it does still hurt my hands. So the other thing that was in there was this. I put them in a little, this is all the yarn. And this was pretty cool, actually. I might have to finish this because this is almost finished. So, of course, I don't have a picture, but I do kind of love when I find stuff like this. Isn't that beautiful? Right? It's gorgeous. It's almost finished too. She even left the needle in there for me. Wasn't that nice? It's basically just these kind of outer pieces. She did most of the work. It's almost done. So I'm just going to go through and see. It looks like what you have to do now is fill in the rest of the green. And then there's a little bit of red thread. And I'm thinking if you look down there, can you see on the bottom? It looks brown, but I think that's where the red's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be poppies or some kind of flowers or whatever. So that was also in the bag. And like I said, it was some kits. They were like Christmas kits, nothing major. But I thought, and, as Goodwill does, it was like the whole bag was $4.99. It was stuffed with things. And I was like, let me take a chance on it and see what happens. So there's that. Now, what else did I find at Goodwill this week? Well, I found, here's one of the very long strings from it, some crazy cool fabric. Hello, Olivia. How are you? Let's start with this one. The problem is I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this color. It is, I would call it buff pink, maybe even like a buff apricot. It is the palest pink. Let's see if I move it around, maybe you guys can get a better picture of it. it's hard because there's direct sunlight. Now you can see, I haven't measured this yet, but you can see how much we got a lot. There's a lot going on here. This piece of fabric cost me $5.49. Yes. With Joann's closing, right? Can we all have a moment of silence? Joann's is closing. With Joann's closing, I have started to buy fabric again because I don't know, because it's like apocalyptic for crafters that Joann's closing, right? It's like, what are we going to do? Where are we going to get fabric? Right. We could get it online, I'm sure, but now here's the second piece I got. Now this is chintz. It's mercerized cotton, but more commonly known as chintz. It is another beautiful, this is a rose pink. This full on is, I guarantee you, from the 1980s. It's that rose pink that was everywhere in the 1980s. Again, pretty good size piece, right? Haven't measured it yet, but it seems to be a fair amount. And this I got for $5.49. Okay, so we're doing good. Haven't measured these yet. If I get around to it today, I will put it up in the notes. I have to go to my sister's later because it's Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day, by the way, to all my moms out there. That was another reason I kind of wanted to do a video today, because I felt like it's Mother's Day. I should do something, right? Okay, so last week, Goodwill had sent me like a text, and I think it was for Wednesday. It was like 20% off, right? So I went there. I didn't really find anything. I actually found all this stuff on Friday. I found, like I said, the kit I found a couple weeks ago. The fabric and the patterns I found Friday. So I didn't get a discount on them. But when I was there on Wednesday using my discount, I found fabric. And as I've said a million times ad nauseum, that when I find fabric at Goodwill, I go back, or patterns, I go back the next day because there's more. Like what happens is, people donate, they put everything in a box. So the first day they do the first box, the second day they do the second box. So I found this lovely quilting fabric. I found all this fabric, by the way, on one hanger. So I'm going to show it all to you. It's cool, right? It's like, it's obviously quilting. I guess you can make an apron or something out of it, but it's pretty cool. Actually, this would be a cool apron, like a cool modern apron. I would say it's maybe a little over a yard. It doesn't feel like a whole lot. I also found this fabric. This also maybe a little over a yard. Can you see it? How cute is it? It's like a little deer. And I found this fabric. Yeah, it's a really good idea, Olivia. If you find something one day at Goodwill, go back. And then I found this just basic cotton. Now, that basic cotton is actually two pieces together, and I'm going to show you why. I found it at Goodwill. Now, I've put it on something. This is someone's quilt project. And I'll open it up a little bit. I don't want to open it up too much. This is actually 3 panels. They were all hanging on the same hanger with the fabric. Here's the back side. But it's all modern kind of ditzy prints and some really beautiful geometrics and whatever. I think the person who had this sewed these 2 pieces together because they were going to either use it between the 3 panels to connect them, or maybe as an outside panel. I measured them out, and it's definitely queen size, but it's more of a topper. And if you quilt, you know that sometimes we refer to like something like this as a topper because you haven't sewn in, you haven't quilted the bottom in yet, right? But also I've heard the phrase topper used for a blanket that sits right on the top of the bed that doesn't really go over the sides. It's like, something like that. And I just fell in love with this. I'm going to finish this because I just think it's so beautiful. It's much more modern than some of the other stuff I got, but yet it has look at this. That's like a very vintage flour sack type design, but I just thought it was really beautiful. So I felt like, wow, what a find. $6.99 for all the fabric, including these 3 quilt panels. and these others. And again, like I said, I'll show you where she sewed it together. She must have been planning something. Now, who was this woman? I don't know. Why did she never finish her quilt? I don't know. It's kind of sad questions, right? See, she sewed that together. But I just really love this. And speaking of fabric, I have put a link down below. Now, I did tell you guys about this in a community post, but I don't know if everybody saw it. But there's a link below to a woman that goes by Dr-Raz. Now, interestingly, her old videos, like her videos from 2 years ago, are about like research and scientific research and all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden you start to see this progression where she's doing crafting and she's making things and she's doing vintage patterns and all this other stuff. But I found her really fun to watch. And she said something that to me, it spoke to me. And it's something that I've said before. So I thought you guys might enjoy watching her videos too, because, you know, there's only so many crazy women like me out there, you know, so I need some support. I need other people to be as crazy as me. But she went to a estate sale. And this estate sale was for a woman who was a crafter. And I mean crafter. She shows herself going through all these different rooms of this estate sale. And the woman has every possible craft item that you can think of. She ended up going the first day and buying a bunch of stuff, and then called them the next day to see if they had stuff left, and went all the way back like on a Monday and picked up all this fabric. It is it's amazing. All right, Olivia, you saw the estate sale? Okay, because I thought I was the only person that was like so crazy. Did you hear the way she talks about like, I have to take this fabric? Like, I didn't realize that my particular addiction was shared by so many people, but apparently it is. So I put the link below because it was just so cool to watch her. And then she talks about the stuff she wasn't keeping, and she took them to some place called, I think it was called Austin Creates. And I was like, what a great idea. Like, it's just a maker space where people are encouraged to create things. And she gave them like, it seemed like a lot of polyester, like stuff she wasn't going to use. And then she showed the organization in her fabric closet. And I was like, oh, yeah, she's crazy like I am. I like her. So anyway, I did put the link below. Absolutely go look at her channel. It's really fun to watch. And, you know, since I'm not making as many videos anymore, I feel like she's a proper substitute for me and my craziness. And, you know, the thing that I really liked that she said is she felt really good about being the custodian of this woman's stash. Because, you know, between you and me and everybody else that crafts, we know this stuff is like important to us. Other people in our family might look at it and think we're crazy, but to us, it's important. We understand the value of this stuff. We're able to create things with it, and it means something to us. Like I always talk about, like when you look at, especially the patterns that we were doing, right? One woman's patterns. It was amazing to see like the maternity patterns and the kids' patterns and everything else that I had from Mrs. Landis. I feel really blessed that I have Mrs. Landis's patterns. But also, when I go to estate sales and I buy like a box of buttons and they're still on the cards, like I know that woman, she bought those buttons, and it may have been for the dress she was making to go to her daughter's baby shower, or a suit that she was making for some special occasion, or another dress for a wedding, whatever. These are like women's history. These things are not just, this isn't just fabric. Like this is not just fabric. This woman took time and planned this out. It's beautiful. I'm so sad that she was never able to finish this. I mean, maybe she's still alive. Maybe for some reason she decided she didn't like this and she just gave it to Goodwill. I don't know. Right? But I feel really good that I get to work on her pieces in her absence. Right? And when Dr-Raz was talking about this, I thought, yeah, there's something really heartwarming about taking care of some other woman's bequest of you know, hobbies, right? Like, and this, and especially after watching that video, because in that video, it was like a company that comes in and clears out houses. They didn't care about any of this woman's stuff. They didn't look at this and go, wow, look at all that fabric. You know, this woman went in and said, how much do you want for the fabric? And they gave her a price. And that was it. You know, like, because to them, it's just stuff. But I found it very heartwarming to watch this video. And, you know, so I thought you guys might appreciate it too. So that's it for me. This is a very short video. It's only 15 minutes, not even a little over 15 minutes. So until next time, I have something interesting to show you guys, which I don't know when that's going to be. I hope you're all are doing well. We're starting to feel like summer here in New Jersey. I'm just noticing that my poor bird bath really needs a good scrub. I'm going to give it a scrub, give the birds a break. And until next time, I hope wherever you are, you're doing well, that the weather's great. And what's that old saying? May the road rise to meet you. Bye. Careful as you go.